seeing anything?
Yeah, it's coming.
And we're at the bottom. Pinch it. That piston in. It's like that. And then suck. Get me ready. Just gotta keep trying this for a sec. Sorry. It's a process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Too low.
Too low.
So bring it back to where we were. Nice. Little goes a long way, boys. Welcome back, everybody, to Motion RC Live. It is Friday, episode 17 of our little weekly show here, and I want to thank everybody who's already here. I see Mike Bird, Victor, RC EDF Jets, Corsair Smitty, Ryan Seibel, I saw you in there. Seibel, is that how I pronounce it? Am I pronouncing that right? Let me know. Phonetically. I see Alpha just joined the chat. Air Guardian, what's going on, everyone? All my ensigns. And I thought today would be the day that they would change over, but it's only been 28 days, so I guess it takes actual 30 or 31 days for your, for that first month of membership to change over. So that should be, so that should be next week. Next week we should see everybody change over if you joined that first week at least. Rank up. Yep, rank it up. What's up, Michael Raja? Discover RC. I want to call out BP Aviation. Thank you, fellas, for joining. Corsair Smitty. Yes, I was looking at that now. So yesterday was finally the day that I ran up that NGH motor. Right after last week's show and realizing that I couldn't. We'll talk about it a little bit. But that I was never going to be able to kick that over on my own. By hand, you definitely need an electric starter, so I had to order that, wait for it to come in. That all came in, and we set it back up yesterday just outside. I ran one tank through it just yesterday, and then we sort of ran out of time. But this weekend, my plan is to further run more through. I almost want to do the full gallon before I ever take it to the field. But also, yes, I do want to balance the prop. That's something that I didn't even think of when I just slapped it on there and went out with it. So before I even start it up again, I'm going to do that. I want to balance it, make sure that it's not as shaky as you can't see it with your eyes the way it is, on the camera. It sort of helps. And then, what's it called? Why am I slipping what I was going to do? Oh, and then bring it back in. Then I have to do all the cowl work. So that's where I'm going to, I saw a couple great videos on how to cut it out. I never had to get too crazy cutting the cowl. So that's like the next part where I get nervous about having to cut a fresh cowl. You only get one shot at it. So I want to make sure I cut that right. And I want to move with the NGH motors, the exhaust, the muffler. I did notice, and I saw it in some forums from the past that, I couldn't tighten that nut down because it comes in two parts. Like you can manipulate the exhaust exit on the entire muffler itself. Like it's two parts. So there was some spillage out the top. So I got myself some muffler sealant from like AutoZone. So I'm going to do that, but I want to make sure my muffler's in the right place. Like I have it maybe coming out a little too horizontal. I sort of thought I dug it, but we had a lot of oil over the top of the wing. It kind of looked cool, but a lot of like spillage on that first run up.
All over our clothes.
Yeah, and all over our clothes, and it was just, we got dirty. It smelled good. It felt good to actually rev it up, and then tuning those needles was fun because when we first got it to start, we were like, yes, it's starting. But then I'm like, I'm hitting the throttle, and I was at half throttle up to full and wasn't hearing any sort of rev. So that's when I want to thank two guys in particular, Jeremy Solt. I was on the phone with him, and Matt Miller. I think I saw you pop in the comments. He has the same exact NGH on Hangar 9 Hellcat. So he was in the process like a month before me, like figuring out all things. So I just asked him a few questions throughout this process, and then yesterday asked him as well, and he's been a great help. So thank you so much, Matt, for just taking the time to answer me on Facebook. And Jeremy Solt, of course, he was on the phone telling me, what to do properly with the high end and the low end needles. I got them to the points where, I can rev up and down full throttle stick, and it doesn't shut off. But if I give it a quarter turn in either direction on either needle, it would then shut off. So I'm like right at that limit. So I think I'm pretty good there. Now it's a matter of balancing that prop. I see some people calling out the shirt. Yeah, guys, we'll talk more. If Anders is in here, I don't know if you're here. Your Grippin shirt is now on Teespring, and I added another, which we'll show in a little bit. I had another Spitfire shirt. I didn't like the first one that I put up there, so I might take that one down, and I think I made a better one. And we'll show you that in a little bit. Remember, guys, that Teespring store is open, and the stuff is really great. I've been going through it, so I got matching mug to shirt just to sort of test it, but now it's like, whoa, I can make the shirts that I want myself, which is awesome. So, it's really fun to be able to do that, and it's like instantaneous, once you make it and you upload it, it's there, and hope you guys enjoy a couple of the designs. I'm trying to get more crazy with the t-shirt designs rather than simple, but even though the simple is really nice. Ignacio, an SU-35 shirt. we can put it on the list. That's it. If you're a member, if you want to, throw me out ideas for shirts, I will happily sit down and, spend some time. I've gotten almost a new shirt up every week so far since it's open. So that's sort of where we're gonna go, keep filling that store. So what do we got in store today? So today, yes, we're gonna start right here with some new products. You see at the bottom of your screen a couple of brands. For you people, we'll start with actually Skynetic. If you guys haven't noticed, if you've been on the Coming Soon aircraft page, you will see some ZOHD models, which I showed a few weeks back. A few of them have come in and then got bought right away, but a few more of those are coming in. But as you scroll down, you'll not only notice the new Skynetic Bison, the all-new Skynetic Bison, which is going to be coming soon as well, but you'll see a couple more Skynetic planes, planes that are coming back as Skynetic planes. So a lot of fan favorites, aircraft that people loved in the past are going to be coming back. Some simple ones, some fun ones. Like my personal favorite is the EDF Neptune jet. I had 2 of them in the past, love them, still have them, they still fly. I think this is a super fun plane, so they should be heading to, again, both motionrc.com and motionrc.eu. But these are imminent, so just click that notify me when back in stock button if you want to make sure you're known. And obviously, if you're on our email, you'll know when they do come in stock. I always try to put the most newest stuff into that email. And then, of course, when they do arrive in stock, I'm going to have a bunch here in future shows so we can go through them. But a lot of them I love. Like, if you guys ever love those profile foamies, I know a lot of people do. I'm actually excited to get some of those because I do want to play. What I really want to do, I never did, was play with like the Eagle gyros in their hover mode and the 3D capabilities. So 3D's never been something that really interests me, but now that like I'm doing a gas motor, 3D's something I want to learn how to do as well. So I'm going to be excited to do that. Then heading over to motionrc.eu, we'll start in construction. You guys, our warehouse has received our Huina order. So Huina does their big name in RC construction. So filling out a lot of the construction products have finally gotten here. Cement trucks, dump trucks, forklifts. We got a big crane there. So all the guys who want to play in the dirt with some fun, these are awesome. I can't wait till they come into the U.S. warehouse, especially this. I keep looking at this RC crane, and I'm just always impressed by, like, it's not as costly as some other things. You're surprised. I mean, obviously, it's simple in its functionality, but I think it's going to look so cool and just something interesting to play with, and something, obviously, I have young kids, they would love. Like, this thing's going to smash Legos all day. So I'm excited to see that 100%. But again, you got the loader, cement trucks, and they all got great features. A lot of them have die-cast parts. You got to go in and check. But as soon as they come available, they should be they're on their way to U.S. warehouse, but they have already arrived. They got to EU earlier than the U.S. So if you're in the EU and you're interested, then, definitely check those out. And then, oh wait, and this crane looks cool too. This is me just screenshotting me playing with the website and forgetting I was screenshotting. Just started to be like, oh man, look at that. That looks so cool. So I dig it. I'm interested to see, how they all work, all the functionalities of them when I eventually get them in there. Because playing with the excavator is a lot of fun. I mean, I definitely do it more often than not. It's a fun thing to do and just different. And then going into the tanks, for EU guys, stay tuned. If you notice on the website, we had added some Tamiya tanks. We had the Henlongs, and they're coming back. But Toro will now has been added. It was updated up there. They're still out of stock. I'm not sure if they're in as of this morning. This was late last night, but they are also imminent. So if you guys are into tanks, Toro is an awesome brand, and right away the one that pops out to me is the Sturm, the Sturm Tiger. Like, I don't know, I like the weird stuff, and I see that short barrel nose and the paint job on it, and I'm like, yep, that's a tank I'm gonna want. So they will be arriving in the EU, soon, very soon, and again, they are still on their way to the US as well. So they'll, they will be in the US. But I like the whole packaging too. Like, you get the box, it's awesome. A whole different, like, it's just a different. If Tamiya's at the top and Henlong's, at the bottom, wouldn't say, the Henlongs are great. Toro's lives right in the middle. So just 3 different options from 3 great brands in that in that world. And then you have this awesome amphibious vehicle. The Schwimmer, what is it called? The Schwimmer wagon?
The David Schwimmer?
The David Schwimmer wagon. It's a friend. But it just looks really cool. I doubt you can, I don't think, Alpha, we could take it in water, but, you know, you would have supposed, maybe it'll float. I mean, if it floats, maybe I would, if I could seal it off, but it just looks really cool. But what I do like about the Toros versus the Henlongs, you get unpainted versions. So if guys really want to get into customizing, you get two options. So like taking a look at the Panzer IV, you can get it all painted and all, you know, primed up. And versus the Henlong products, I believe, like an Alpha, correct me if I'm wrong, you just get way more metal. Like they're going to be heavier. They're going to be, you know, just a little more solid than a Henlong version of a tank. Again, they're all 16 scale, but then you could get it like, because then you see the unpainted version. So this is,
looks so cool.
yeah, the unpainted looks cool as it is. So you could see the difference. Like obviously you see what would be plastic, but then you see the parts that are metal on it. So being able to paint those, you know, that's the guys who are into it. I mean, I've been in the tank world groups now for a good while. And it's fun groups to follow. Like it's, you know, obviously we show a lot of aircraft on here because that's just what gets shared in our group. You know, I still don't know if a lot of times I want to share stuff from other groups, but I feel like that's not my place to do that. So I'm trying to get those guys to come and post that stuff in the Motion RC group. So now that we have all these tank options, I hope more tank guys will come over and post that stuff, because when you see guys weather the tanks, and we found, you know, a couple people do it on our squawk, they're just, you know, it's awesome. It's fun. The tanks are fun to play with, but they're really fun to customize and really get in there. If you enjoy sitting down, throwing on a movie and modeling and painting and doing that, tanks are awesome for that. So great canvas. Yes, Alex, he's my, you're my vocabulary teacher back there. Fantastic. Put the words in my mouth because I talk far too much. So moving on to Teespring though, because I saw you guys saw the shirt. So if you want to check out the store, link is always, it's in almost every video now. It just lives in the description. You can see them, but here's some of the latest options. So I know Anders had asked, he was asking for a Grippin shirt. So I did a Grippin shirt, but I start with the Spitfire. You know, guys, I love the Spitfire. So I was sitting there actually late one night. I'm like, I'm gonna make something different. I was watching the Spitfire documentary, and I always love that quote by Churchill. Never in the time of human conflict had been so much owed by so many to so few. So I'm like, I bet I could toss that on a shirt. So I did. And you got a bunch of different options: tank tops, sweatshirts, 3 different types of t-shirts, depending on how it feels. So this is actually gonna be my next one. It's already on the way. I'm grabbing me one of these t-shirts. It's available. And then for Anders, because he was the only one so far that really asked for a specific shirt, after I left this one, I'll show you. I did a simple Grippin shirt, which I thought was kind of cool as well. So always check out, you know, if you're interested in merch, we're trying to get people to realize that, you know, you're going to find this on Teespring versus finding it on motionrc.com itself. It's just so much easier to upload images and graphics to the Teespring store and let them take care of all the stuff than try to, you know, do it yourself and get everything delivered to the warehouse. We're not a t-shirt company. We are, you know, an RC company. We focus on that more than we focus on the merch. So this is such a great way to get merch out to people. And there it is. You get it in a bunch of different options. It's t-shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops. You know, there's all different types of tees. You got to look. There's a classic tee, there's a premium, and then a comfort tee. They're all different materials, so just, you know, see what they are depending on the shirt you like. I know I prefer shirts that aren't 100% cotton. That's just me. But I know some people like it the other way. But check it out. There's a ton of stuff. There's like 60-something products there now, all different types and ranges, and we're going to keep, you know, making more. And hopefully in the future, when we do have our next big releases, we'll start doing exclusive merch where that'll be fun too. So look out for that. And that concludes our new product first tab there. So moving on, let's run through the community as we always do, because it was another awesome week of sharing and RC. And actually, I know this week Seth is happening, so I wish I could have made it. It's not that far from where I am here, but you know, it's just not time. Hopefully next year. I do want to get back out to Seth, but it looks like they're having a great show down there in Americus, Georgia. And about 300 pilots supposed to be there this weekend. So that's really exciting. Maybe I don't know. If I'm feeling saucy, maybe I'll jump in the car tomorrow morning and just go and hang out for the day. But I doubt it. But you never know. Maybe. But we'll start on Hobby Squawk, where, interestingly enough, 2 Roban A10s popped up back to back. So if you remember this on our website, it's the big composite A10. 2 guys have said they're both going out. 2 different people on Squawk have their Roban A10s ready to go. And they're going to do some maidens. And from what their comments are, they're going to get some video out there, so we hope to see them both. So the first one was Dan McKeague. That's his Squawk name. He painted his up, I believe, or no, I think you could get, there was a version that was all base gray and a version that did have the winter camo. So you can 100% put up, and I'm interested. It's a big boy, the Roban. When this got released on the website, it's been around for a long time. But it's ginormous, so excited to hopefully see some maidens. You could see inside they're running 4 6S lipos if you're going to set it up electric and not turbine. So that's going to be, that's a lot of nose weight in there. So I hope he finds success. And then the other A10 was Reaper38, who then responded, yeah, mine's almost ready, and it's going out Sunday as well. So he's going to have another maiden, and that's his version. He went with some regular graphics on a base gray one. Obviously did some weathering on it. So good luck to you both with your A10s. Then we have T. Elbert, who shared in our Hobby Squawk group his hobby room. Wow. I love something about the black painted halfway up the wall to the top.
Bigger.
It almost looks like a museum, and it looks gigantic with the lights up there.
See if I hit the right button here.
But
no, I didn't mean to hit smooth. Hit it.
Awesome.
No,
Welcome aboard. We got a new member.
No.
Oh.
No, the mouse is going crazy.
That's our new member. I was like, I didn't see a new member join up
Not
yet.
Wink, wink.
Wink. Yeah, not yet. But if you want to join and you want your ensign badge, by all means. But check that out. I mean, I just love the way that looks. And then he has a second picture of the other side of the wall. He's got a lot of jets and just looks really fantastic. That looks like a room I'd happily sit in. But I like how he has his table behind the couch, the TV, so you could get to work, still watch TV and be surrounded by by all that awesomeness. So, man, just a great post. I love seeing guys' hobby rooms. I know a lot of people do too. It's always gives you ideas too of how to, properly space things. I didn't have in my area. I don't have enough open wall space like that to hang my jets the way that are. But that's how I would do it. It looks great. I'm a ceiling guy just for space. Everything's up in the ceiling in like a jigsaw puzzle. Delta 19, then we had, and this was talking about customizing tanks. So Delta 19 posted in, he had his Henlong Tiger 1. And that's how it comes base. But check out what he did. It's the Zimmermet. So this was the stuff that they would rub on the tanks to block them from magnetic mines. Whoa. So you couldn't slap a magnetic mine. So he used some form of putty. He mentions it in there, and then he made a device that he could scrape the lines, and then when he finished the paint job, you'd see a lot of tanks like this, and they're all different types of patterns, but when you see it, it's just such a subtle detail. When you look up close in the picture, you see it's there. It's like it really adds a great texture to the tank, and just an awesome idea. So fantastic job to Delta 19 sharing that in the tank forums, and it was such a good idea. I asked them do the waffle because I saw they had not just straight line pattern would be easy, but they did a waffle pattern. Daniel _SWE, welcome to the Motion OSC customer community, sir. I think you are now member 68, so a couple more and we get another emoji. I added the coffee emoji, but thank you so much for joining, sir. And stay tuned. And that's love it. Love when people join in the post, and hopefully pretty soon we're gonna have that come up automatically, so I don't have to just see it there. But that looks awesome. Whoa. Zigzag can do a video on FPV hardware for wow.
No, I'm looking at the name, not even what he said.
Zigzag Ground Zero.
HAL 9000.
HAL 9000 is the wow. HAL 9000 Alpha. We got
two
AIs in chat. That's really funny. But that's awesome. Welcome so much. Thank you so much for becoming a member. It's always fun when people do it on the live show as well. I wasn't even ready. I looked up. I'm like, is that? Oh yeah. We gotta, now it's like I've set the expectations for how that has to happen. Welcome so much, Sarah, and thanks for watching. It's awesome. So that wraps up our Hobby Squawk tour, and we'll head over to the Facebook custom community and check out what was going on there. So the first one I saw was Christopher Ieda, just kids and some jets, saying going out there having some jet dogfights with the MiG-15 and the Panther. So always love to see that. Always love to see when kids are involved, because that's what it's all about. That's what's going to keep the hobby going strong if you get your kids involved into it. As long as they want to. Don't force it on them. Make them just sort of want to do it. And that's the best way. That's the way the passion grows. So that's awesome. Then we had David Gardner. I dug this post. So he's doing a fire, Tiger Cat. So he put a water tank on it. And he said he could hold something like 40 ounces of water? I think he wrote 40 ounces of water. So that would be interesting to see, because it looks like that tank should be mounted right on the CG, so it shouldn't, affect things. But he mounted that on. He built that custom and then started painting around it and turning it into what it will become. And I just hope to see some video. I hope he gets some video of it dropping some water. And if you can, please light a fire on the field.
Yeah.
Like, bring a couple sticks out there, start a little fire, and try to put it out. That would be a great challenge. Just can you put out a fire with your Tiger Cat? But either way, it looks really cool. So I'll be excited to see it when it's all done. And I appreciate you, Dave, for sharing that and the hard work you're doing. So thank you so much. Jeff Jackson, welcome to the Motion RC Community Captainship. Thank you so much, sir. Welcome aboard. Other way.
There you go.
Other way. Oh yeah, that's that way. Sorry. I'm righty though. I want to stretch it out. Got to get limber for those movements. But that looked awesome. Jeff Jackson, thank you so much for joining. We are now, I think we're one away from another emoji. If you guys need everybody needs another emoji. But yeah, thank you so much. And we're gonna, like I said, coming soon, we're gonna have, we're start opening up the reasons for the memberships more to the people who join. We'll get there, but that's why we have it at the lowest possible price it can be, because for right now we can see your comments. So when we get to questions and answers, that's really what it's for. You guys will sort of get first priority because you'll stick out more, and we'll make sure we'll answer your questions when we get to that time, of course. So anyway, moving on, I thought this was awesome. So if you guys saw on the Facebook community, Glenn Singleton was sharing a bunch of updates about detailing, but he's doing his A10 ordnance package. So I thought that was different. It's not, it's not just the aircraft itself. Like, I'm sure he's gonna, do plenty of work to his aircraft. But like here, he's just taking his time with the pylons. Because if you've ever gotten the Freewing A10, you get all the pylons, you get all the, all the ordnance together as one. So he was riveting it. He was, decaling them up, painting them, making them look really, really, stunning. Because something about that A10, it's just, I can't not fly it with the ordnance on it. I feel like it's just, it just doesn't make sense. That's the one aircraft that I feel like I have to fly with ordnance all the time, or else what's the point? But then he's doing some crazy work to the missiles too. Like, from my understanding, he's lighting them up in the back, or just doing crazy detail, and it looks absolutely awesome. So Glenn, if you're out there, I can't wait for you to keep sharing your updates on this. I'm gonna love to see how it how it turns out. This was all over like 3 or 4 different posts, so it's really, really cool and excited to see it. And then if you saw this week's, I'm starting to I think it's just more fun to throw in picture as our thumbnail when I see a good one pop up. At Jets and Wings back again. Man, he did that F-15 Eagle. He does a lot of awesome customization. So when I saw this one, the F-104 in the German scheme, just something about it stuck out, and the pictures are beautiful, so I had to make it the thumbnail. This shot right here with the turbines in the back, it's just a beautiful shot, and it looks like a beautiful plane. So excellent work as always, Rob. You know, second to none as far as customizations. You can tell the time you put into things, and you always make them look so stunning. It's a really, really beautiful looking F-104 starfighter. So awesome to see. Just awesome. I need a breath. I feel like I've been talking for 25 straight minutes, and I have. I'm watching the chat go through. Needs an A-bomb hanging.
Now
Nice
this.
looking 104. Now this is gorgeous, but Mark Santora, did you guys see these? There's got to be some Photoshop in there. I mean, right? I mean that's a
I
detailed.
don't care.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I hope it's the real sky. It looks like maybe he added the light from the left side, like the
Yeah.
sunbeams.
Totally.
It looks like he highlighted because you can sort of cut out your you know, the picture and really touch it up, like the shine on it. It's glistening. But either way, it looks fantastic. The MiG-29, yes.
That's
I mean,
like background on my computer.
you know, at first I was looking for the servo horns to make sure it was a model and not a real one. You know, I'm like, do I see the servo horns? You know, that's like the only way sometimes you can tell these things are so good. Like, you know, you can't hide the control rods. At least not yet, anyway. Who knows
That color
where
is
technology is going to go.
So good.
But the color, yeah, everything about it looks fantastic. So, and he only had these two pictures, so I loved it, though. It was fantastic. Or in 4K, Victor said. Yeah, you know, still got to be a great shot. But yeah, it's crisp. It's crisp. Uh-oh, Alpha, what is he saying? No, it's not.
Is the A-10 a good starting jet, I think?
Oh, is A-10 a good starting jet? You know what, A-10, flying-wise, it's easy to fly, but I think you're landing the jet, the A-10, you got to land with power, and I think that's the hardest thing with jets in general, is if you're coming from prop planes to, you know, to jets, controlled descent is probably one of the toughest things to learn for your brain to wrap around, that you sort of got to land with power. Because if you try to glide in the A-10, you're going to porpoise, and you're going to end up fixing your nose gear and your nose more often than not. So that's probably where we're going. Martin Haggis, I saw Alex shared this out through our group, but Martin Haggis had shared this in. TV on his F-22. So we've seen this. We've seen this in person. Steve Hodges, RC Jet dude, he had done that a while back. He was one of the first people to do it. But this looks really flawless, and I can't wait to see it. Because the the F-22 already is a pretty, you know, fun aerobatic aircraft. So I remember when we watched RC Jet Dude fly, like it's Su-35, sorry, Su-35 TV style, where it's so light, where he was doing like flips and like continuing on, like you could just flip on like the same axis, like you're not looping, you're flipping. Like, you could do a front flip and a back flip and just continue in the same horizontal plane. It was crazy. So just be ready for it, and I'm excited to see it. So that's awesome. Martin, great share. And it's a good looking. I like the Thunderbird scheme on the 22 as well. That's fun, for sure. And then Patrick Simon. This was a gorgeous MiG too. Like, where'd this come from? He took the digital. Like, I don't even know how he did this.
He left the digital but painted everything else.
Yeah, did he tape off just the dark gray digital to then paint the rest of it blue? Like, the thought process behind the work that went into this one is unbelievable. Or did he just paint the whole thing blue and then redo the decals? But either way, it looks fantastic, and I love the yellow. The yellow accents should do nothing but help, because obviously a blue aircraft like that on a blue day, it's going to be, you know, I mean, you know, depends on the blue. It might be hard to see, but those yellow tips are going to help you to see it a little more, and makes it pop. And it looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic how he ended up working that out. So another fantastic. Notification gravity.exe error stopped working due to an unexpected modification in an F-22 Raptor. That's really funny. Ignacio, that's awesome. That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, gorgeous. That was, I was between that and the F-104 for thumbnail of the week, if you will. But that one just won out by a tad. But this one is beautiful. Then we had Rod Muskyard. So he had actually a couple. So first he had a couple pictures of his Su-35, speaking of the Su. And they're just crisp shots with the afterburners. Now maybe one of you guys can tell me. I'm not sure which afterburner he's using, but he has one shot. It's whoever was the cameraman, unless it was him and someone else. I don't know if he was the pilot or these are his pictures that he took. But the very last shot of this is like right up the tailpipes. And it's just a good looking shot. I love it with the, with there. So I'm not sure whose afterburners those are, but either way, I don't know if they're the center burner or if they're Guniac, but either way, they look fantastic. And then he also shared, if you saw actually this week, I happened to take out the Dora. So I ended up doing a video on it that I released yesterday, but I really took it out there because I promised for the tips, I would come back with how to hand launch a jet. So that'll be the next tip on Tuesday that you guys are going to see is hand launching a prop plane versus I did the hand launch for an EDF jet. But then you see, it's almost like fate. We pull out a plane, then all of a sudden we see a bunch of people post about them. So, I hadn't flown either one of the Mustang or the Dora in a while, and I was excited to get back out for it. So, to see them all out there, I love all the schemes on them. They were having fun, and there were a couple crash pics too that I didn't grab, but there looked like there were some other schemes. So they were dogfighting, and a couple went down too. But here are the ones that survived, and they all look awesome. Some guys added some nice orange and yellow accents. Always fun. They're so.
I feel like that's the dream when we made these, to see like that.
To see that.
Setup, all the different colored tails.
Yeah, this is why
Dora and the Mustang chasing each other.
100%. I think this is. I remember Alpha when he told us about these. That was saying bring back the fun fighters. That's really
you
the part of it.
Here.
Because almost like back in the 2010s, I think 2008s, like fun fighters was a big craze, and then it sort of went away. And there are things in the hobby that come up and down. Matt Miller, I don't know if Alpha's still in there. I don't know. I don't know about a TV unit for the 22. Just based on how, it doesn't look like something you could easily mod on. But I guess if you could 3D print those parts, I'm sure. But I don't think there were any plans to do it. At least not right now that I know of. But you never know. The best thing about Freewing models is they stick around for a long time and they get updated as technology gets better. So you never know. Oh, Rodney Mustard. How do I pronounce your name? Can you write phonetically how to pronounce it so I get it right?
Mustard.
But Mustard?
Mustard.
I feel like I'm just butchering that. And I feel terrible whenever I do so. But home-built burners. So awesome. That's fantastic. Even better when you make something yourself. That's awesome. And photos of friends flying. Okay, so you were behind the camera. Love it, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. Keep us posted. Those pictures look awesome. So if you're taking pictures, we love to see them. And then we had, who is this again? Phil Landrum. I want to see more. This is the Nexa P38. If you want to have an interesting, Todd Breda has had one, I think, in the past when it wasn't the Nexa P38, but now he's got it here, and so it's a big P38, and it's a balsa P38, and this is the only picture he posted. So Phil, if you're out there, if you're watching, I hope somebody could get some video. I'm interested in seeing this. Like, I would love a big P38. Something about the P38 is just really, it's just really cool. In real life, it was a bad A plane in real life, and it's a great model to fly. So I'm interested in flying a balsa version myself at some point. So hopefully that'll be one of the next ones. I'm thinking that at some point I'm gonna have to experiment with the double gas. Yeah. That's gonna be the next step. So after this Hellcat, then I'm gonna go to the big gasser, still a single engine, but then I think I have to do a multi-engine gasser. I want to be, I remember seeing Mac Hodges with his four, starting all four of those big B29 gas engines. I think they were all 125cc engines, four of them, just walking down the line. It's crazy. But I couldn't imagine trying to tune just the two engines would be a challenge to get them tuned up together, because that's got to be a lot of work. You can't just plug in the ESCs and let the calibration technique work. You really got to go hard. And then Ryan Seibel, I saw a couple videos you had posted too, but I grabbed this one shot. Beautiful shot of your Roban heli, man. Love seeing all your helis, and thank you so much for being a member and sharing. Keep it up. We always love to see it. There's not enough heli content in any of the groups, and for all you heli guys out there, keep sharing it, man, because people should see them. They're awesome to see. And if you guys know of any heli shows in your areas for you heli guys, post them up in the groups. Let people know, because even if you're a plane guy and you're not into helis, man, you'll have a ton of fun just driving up for a couple hours and seeing the heli guys do what they do, even if you have no plans to ever buy one and fly one. I've been to 2 heli shows now, and they're awesome to just see the level of work and the passion coming out of that niche of the community. Is just as awesome as the aircraft or tanks or any other niches. So fantastic. Another fantastic week through Facebook. And we move on to the YouTube, where we are now. So what do we have this week? Oh, SSG Fury. Actually, I found this YouTube video through Hobby Squawk. He had posted it up. He had his UHD1. His UE is 800, and he was maidening it, or just test hovering it.
In the front yard.
In the front yard, yeah. So it's like you see a kid like on his bicycle pulling up. Like, this must, if you're his neighbor, you're definitely been outside to see what is that.
Yeah.
Are
they mowing the lawn?
Yeah, like what?
Heli, honey.
Yeah, he's not doing 3D. We could, I guess, but he takes it off. They just sound so good, and this is a big one. So I'm excited to see. It looks like he's working on, he doesn't have decals on it yet, so he's probably going to customize it and anything. But just taking off. Every time I see this take off, I want to feel the sticks, like I want to feel what the throttle feels like on something that heavy and something that, that big. Like, I bet it just feels awesome. Like, I don't know, it's funny, but I don't know why it's the case. But like when you fly a small warbird versus a big one, or a small jet versus a big one, even though your sticks have the same tensions on them, why does it feel heavier when you're on a bigger item? I don't know why, but like it's almost like you could feel it in your thumb. There's something awesome about it, even though there's obviously no physical difference, because it's the same. Like, I should be like, if I just move my transmitter when it's not armed, it feels soft and there's nothing there. But when you got throttle behind it, it's like you feel it in your stick, and it's I want to feel what that feels like, because it looks absolutely awesome, and a good hovering job. And I hope he keeps the form up to date as he finishes it off and gets to a proper flying site, so we can actually open it up a little bit. So that's awesome. Then I saw John's RC. If you guys know John's RC, younger kid, him and his father, just building a great little YouTube channel over there. Flying all different types of stuff, but they got out with a Stinger on 4S. And John, for his age, super knowledgeable kid, and he presents really well. He does such a great job. So if you haven't given him a subscribe, by all means, stop by there if you're watching this video to John's RC, written just as it is, and give that kid some love. Give him a subscribe, because he does some great stuff. He offers great information. He goes through CG, rates. He does it all. And he's got just a great channel. You can tell his passion, comes through the camera. So I'm always excited to see. I got the bell rung for him. When a new John's RC video pops up, I definitely always stop in and check him out. He's a great kid. Hamilton, is Hamilton's hangar here? Where's Che? He had talk about F-22s. Go check out Hamilton hangar. He had a couple videos. This is from his second flight. He's got 8S F-22 going, him and his wife. Another fun channel, and he just lets it rip. Che just goes for it. Another fun dude. So fun to see. And the 22 looks like it rips on 8S. And I even included his landing, which wasn't the best, but it's awesome either way. When he comes in, it's sort of just like he just hits and he keeps it on the track. He was like coming in at a bad angle, and then he pulls too much rudder. But either way, it's awesome because he just throws it up like it is. You know, that's the best. If you're gonna make RC videos, don't edit them. You know, like this is real. Like this sometimes happens, and it survives, man. I love it. The way it like skids in there, boom, and he just turns around like, yeah, I just added too much rudder. Like he's just a funny dude. So either way, go check out Hamilton's Hangar. They're a good bunch of fun in the RC world. Then we had Guy Pedroso. If you remember last week, Guy had posted the pictures of his L39, so we showed the pictures. He had promised the video, and it finally came out. So I was excited to see that. He had the head tracking on his pilot there, the ET pilot, on the front. And then he did a little bit of fun After Effects right here. You know, artificial horizon, speed, I think, speedometer pops up. And then, what was the last one? Oh, altitude. He has like a screen inside, which looks awesome. And then he's got the 360 cam on the back of that tail. So I think he had to mount it a little more securely because you're getting some shake. Obviously, might be a little too wide. There might be a better way to mount it. But either way, it's such a cool angle. And Alpha, if you're listening, Alex and I just want to buy this camera because it's so awesome. And then he had someone chase, though, too, which is also really cool. So the best of all three in one shot, 3 different cameras working to make what turns out to be a fantastic looking video all around with that customized L39. So either way, Guy, thanks. You promised and you delivered, and it's just a great looking all around. And there it is. That's what I love about that 360 camera. You can keep the horizon level and the plane just moves within it, which is just such a, you know, these kind of cameras, like, I don't know where I'd use this in everyday life. It's like, if you're in RC, they're perfect. It's like all these small cameras are made for what we do. The only other thing I think of if you're like, you know, action sports, you know, if you're putting goggles on your head and you're skiing or water skiing or something like that, where it would work even better. And then Arthur, where's Arthur RC? Is he here today? He might not be here today, but he posted 2 videos up that I thought were awesome. One of his best landings and one of his worst landings. So I just compiled a couple of them, but go check out Arthur RC. You know, he's got a great channel. He's a good guy out there. And I like to see them both because it takes guts, man, to put your, to even put your faults out there. You know, people are always going to say what they're going to say, but if you're filming it and you're going to put it out to the world, it's awesome. And, you know, not everybody's perfect. Everybody's done that landing before. You know, we all have. We've all done all of these. And it's good to see if things like this make you realize, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, I definitely bounce my Corsair. Like, my touch and go. Sometimes I barely touch. I bounce and go. And then every Spitfire owner has done this.
Right off
Boop, and flip, and the flip. Yeah. Like I said, for like at least the first like 5 flights of my Spitfire of the 1600 when I was getting into it, my rudder was my brake. Like it would always tip over on the grass, and you know my rudder still dented the top of my rudder from those. So you know, thank you so much, Arthur, for sharing those. And we'll get back to you, Air Guardian. I saw a couple more of your awesome videos, but I feel like I have to skip. You post so much, I can't every week. I'd feel bad if I'm always showing your stuff, but I've seen, you know, I saw some more awesome videos from him, so check out Air Guardian as well out there. And thank you all for just sharing. And you know, as we say, like it's what's helping this hobby is everybody just, you know, taking the time to do these things, whether you're trying to, you know, use YouTube for revenue or if you're just doing it for fun and to spread information. Either way, you know, it's an awesome community. It's great to be able to sit down at night and just see people having fun, you know, in the hobby with our products and with other RC companies' products, because this is awesome. So yeah, man, what Jameson says it right. One of his latest MiG videos was intense, and Jameson, he got himself a MiG too. So when are you gonna film yourself flying? You gonna put it out there for once? You love to talk about other people flying, but you got to put yourself out there too.
Yeah. Waiting for Nolan to fall for us.
Waiting for Nolan. We're gonna film you at Nolan. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fly our MiGs together at Nolan the Fall, because I know you'll be there, and hopefully I'll be there. So fantastic. That's the wrap up for this week as far as the community goes. And guys, I want to say before we get to the next one, actually, you know what? I'll do that in closing. So NGH, so you obviously saw the beginning. Now, Alex, you put together a couple other videos.
I have our initial attempt before we realized our problem.
Okay,
so.
I've never seen I never actually watched. So this was before last week's show. This was how I was trying to, petrified of getting cut by the prop, and now I realize there was so much wrong. But I thought, you know, I had my choke closed. I have my gloves on. I've got the best chicken stick I could find, which was a rubber mallet, like the end of it. And I just like, you know, and I'm realizing I thought something was wrong with my tubes. I could not suck any fuel. I thought this was supposed to suck the fuel right into the motor. Then I would hear it like burp at me, like growl, like, you know, and then I'd open the carb, you know, like right now. So right now I have my throttle fully open, carb closed, trying to get gas into it. And me and him are like, dude, this just, something's wrong with this motor.
Jeremy, we're like, what's wrong?
I'm like on my phone on all the forums trying to find, you know, like
YouTube videos from like 1996.
yeah. What's going on?
But we get it.
It was crazy. So yeah, like completely, you know, petrified that it's just gonna start on me. Like I don't know why that would ever happen. Like as if my weed whacker would just start for no reason. But you know, so then finally realized you need the pressure of an electric starter to kick it over. Maybe in time, as it breaks in, I'd be able to start it like that. But immediately upon using the starter, she turned right over yesterday. But then I did realize, so now the one thing, some of the working through the issues, I was talking to Matt, but the with the electric igniter, where it sticks into your, now I'm losing the words because I'm live, but you know, our plug on the bottom, that kept falling out as we would rev up the engine. I didn't know how much pressure you really needed to press that on, and I was afraid to break it, so I kept pushing on. It would like fall off, and I'm like, something's wrong with it. Does it need a clip? But turns out you just need to really give it some good force to
there's like a little lip you had to get.
Yeah, the spark plug, there it is. Somebody said the spark plug with the igniter to get the timing right, because when I first revved it up, like it just didn't sound good and it wasn't fully seated, so I think it just wasn't, you know, hitting that timing, you know, as it should. So once I sorted that out, and then talking to Jeremy, and he just said, you know, as I said with the throttle, you know, when you first rev it up, it was, you know, you've got, what is it? What am I looking at? Wind up the rubber band more?
No,
Flux capacitor. You forgot to tell the right chance to appease the machine spirit.
RC gods. You forgot to pray to the RC gods.
So true. But anyway, so I worked it through, and it purrs like a kitten though. And then once you get the you know, then working with the high and low needles. So I wanted to get to the point where I can bring the high needle closed as close as possible, where I get those high RPMs. But I got it to the point where the motor just, you know, shut off. And then, like, I backed it up like a quarter turn from there and then plug it in. Then I did the same thing for the low end needle. You know, got to the point and with endpoints in my throttle. So, you know, I'm at the point where I could start it up low throttle, slow RPMs, but I can still down trim it if I need to, you know, if I ever wanted to just shut it off that way. Because I don't have an optical kill switch. So, you know, I'm at the mercy of of the gods in that case. But, you know, at least I could down trim my throttle if I have to, and it'll, you know, and it'll shut off that way if needed. But now, like I said, I got to seal my exhaust. Then I got to cut the cowl around it. I'm going to balance my prop before I do it. I'm going to run another couple tanks through. And then 100% next week, as long as the weather's good. This is the first plane I'm taking out, and I'm just going for it. So I'm so excited to finally get out and fly this thing. It looks so awesome. We were happy with the smell. It just felt like, honestly, we felt like we were at like Joe Nall this time. So, you know, that's it. And I will. Jameson, of course.
You need a kill switch and a throw.
We'll do a...
Yeah.
I probably should get I should get a kill switch. I should, but at this point, I'm not waiting around for anything else. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Either I'm gonna fly it well, or I'm gonna kill it in general. But I think it's gonna be fine. But yeah, I want to balance that prop because Alex had some slow-mo shots of it, but it was really shaking when we saw it. It was hard to see with your eyes. You know, it's amazing what...
Yeah. Even watching the footage now, like, as I'm sure the prop spinning isn't helping the optical illusion of it shaking, but
yeah.
like if you're watching it dead on, you see it.
Yep. But overall, I was happy with the way, you know, I can fully rev up the throttle and bring it right down, and it doesn't shut off. So I'm excited about that. Pontiac, shh. We go. Nobody be out there when we're flying, so we're ready to go. But yeah, there you go, John Killen. There it is. That's Killen switch. We call that. So, but either way, man, I'm impressed with this motor. So I'm excited with this, and with this engine. I got a reserve motor for electric and engine for gas. But I'm excited to go right to. I will 100% go for the kill switch and all that. Probably later, if I have time. But I'm gonna do that when I put on the big one, because I gotta put the 60cc Admiral. I want to see an Admiral engine, and I want to get that on either the Zero or the P47 from Black Horse, or maybe we do another big one and just go all gas right from the start, rather than the worst part is taking apart what's already built and ready to go plane with the prop and everything. Maybe we'll just do a new one. For that. But either way, I'm excited, man. I'm ready for... That was my goal. I'm glad that it didn't come to the end of the year. Next week, May, we're gonna fly some gas. And maybe I never fly electric ever again, and I just fly gas balsa all the time. And that'll do it for our roundup. What time is it? All right, we got 10 minutes, so questions and answers time. George Watts, the 50cc motor should hand start easily, even on the start. Like, now, see, that's a question I would have. Why would a 50cc be easier to hand start than a 17cc? The size of the engine has something to do with that, or is it just different types? I'm wondering if different types of engines and the way they're set up. But I don't know.
Bigger gear, like bigger on the inside, more torque. I don't know.
All right. Alex is going with that.
I was right with the spark plug thing.
You were right.
High on that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, George, I was watching videos of doing, I've been to tons of RC shows and watched guys.
Yeah.
They all do, obviously I see a lot of people do it with the electric starter. I always assumed the electric starter was just
easier.
It was just easier. Guys who had it rather than trying to sit there. But I was ready for that.
Yeah, watching guys.
Ignacio, how was your day going, James? My day's going just well. When I'm doing this, how could it not be going well? I love these days. So most Fridays, I'm always happy. But thank you for asking, Ignacio. It's a perfect kind of question. This is what we need. All right, I see a question from Colin. Word has the frame base kept out of stock because new fuses will have a redesigned and reinforced elevator support plate. Is this true? I don't work in the warehouse, but I was under the impression that it's more, COVID and shipping related than anything else. But time will tell. When they're in, and we will all know.
Alpha's in chat.
For
you can
there.
him about that.
Yeah, Alpha would know more than me, Colin, when it comes to that. I am at the marketing end of the spectrum, so that's me. Pontiac, you're gonna love gas engines. I mean, we always hate it just for the sound. It's annoying to be in the field as video people because we'll always be in the middle of doing our video and a guy at the end of it, and you're just like, oh. But I've never not appreciated going and seeing, the big warbirds. When you walk down the line at Joe Knoll or any of these shows and you see guy take off. I mean, the sound, the smell, everything about it is awesome.
In the morning for Dawn Patrol.
Yeah, I sort of avoided because for a long time, obviously, when I started here, we didn't even have them. So this is sort of new. I didn't have a reason to get into gas because, again, when you work in this hobby, you don't get a lot of time to just go out on your own to enjoy the hobby because it's my job first. It's not my hobby first. So a lot of times, even on the weekend, I may want to go fly, but I'm like, I can fly, for work. So I got to go do something else. My wife will kill me if I tell her I'm going to the field, and I'm not doing something else. So I have to fill my time other ways. But I always said, seeing them, if one day this ends for me, 20 years from now, I envision myself more as a guy who's going to have one or two big balsa models than somebody who's jumping to every new foam model, if that makes sense. And one of them would have to be gas because just from revving it up, like, I get it. It smelled the real, like, it sounds good. It, you know, at least gas. I don't know about nitro, but I'm down with that. The noise drives me nuts too. Yeah, I hear you, GB. But that's it. Well, Victor, no release hints. How do you know there's not a hint somewhere here already? How do you know we haven't been hinting before?
Take a closer
You know, like
look.
you do whatever you got to do. There's always hints. For
Electrons
people,
are easier to
what?
clean
How did
off.
Alpha? How did you put it that time? I forget. Alpha had a good quote about it. Well, I forget what on the last release we had, was it the Griffin or the MiG? I forget what it was. He like answered somebody with it was on the OV10. He was like, "You're not very observant."
Yeah.
You know, like it was so funny, and it was like, you know, the Observer, the OV10 then came out. So you never know. Yeah, I mean, Alpha says I gave several. You got to just read between the lines, I guess. But you guys, I mean, you saw the Bison. That's coming very soon. We're building our videos for that. So when that's ready, we'll be going. But there's a ton more too. Just finished flying the Havoc Racer, Jeff. I can't wait till they come back in stock. I want to do more Havoc racing, especially the other day after flying the Dora again. You know, it's been a while since I just threw out a hand launch, prop plane. And it's like funny. It's, you know, you realize, why haven't I been flying this more? Just you're into other things. If I missed any other questions, Alex, at least from our ensigns, who will be turning into lieutenants, I think, if you joined 4 weeks ago. If I might have missed your question, ask again. Oh, back. I see. What's up with the candle? Oh, it just smells good.
We're in a basement.
We're in the studio, and it was smelling like gas. So, but probably not fuel gas. But you know, it smells nice to have a candle going. Why not? That's really funny. MiG-29 thing, please. Glove is a question. Oh man, I don't know where you're at, where your head's at, Hal. But the field would be my first answer, of course. Well, I already have F4. Yeah, John, I saw the F4. John will have his. Well, you had 4, you lost 1, so you got yourself back up to 4. So I can't wait. And it looks like you posted a picture of what you're hoping to do with it. So I'm excited. James, when am I going to start wearing my leggings? It's getting warm outside now, man. But I'm still in jeans. But I got to get me some leggings. You know what? Maybe that's how I'll open up Jonal. I'll jog from the start all the way to the electric line. You in the golf cart, and I'll just jog with leggings on for the start of the video. That'll 100% draw subscribers and views. So awesome. Yes, as Alpha says, when we're ready, you will all know. For common possible beefed up tail for the next batch. Air Guardian, you're gonna know when we know. 100%. We will say when we're ready to say, and all will be well with the world. Bet they don't look as good on James as they do on the model. You never know, man. I got some nice curves, Corsair Smitty. Scott Millspaw, I will not be attending Jet Jam, but that's in June, so that's about a month, about 6 weeks away. But there will be some product there from Motion for their raffles and such. We supported that show now since the start. So we will continue. And then my hope is, again, once Jonal opens, then that probably is probably going to be, okay for everything to really be open. Like, I think we're all expecting by the end of this year, and 2022 will start resembling 2019 more than 2020. So, or 20, whatever. It's been how long now? Whatever. When it opens up, like next year, I want to get back to at least 4 or 5 shows, like we were doing. Like the plan is, I want to get back to shows, but we just want to make sure this is like all over. We don't, there's no reason to do anything when, right now. So I'm just hoping Null in the Fall's the first one that we go to, and then Jet Jam next year we would be at. This year I'd go, but it's just not time yet. Who votes this little period of time to go to make 29? Well, up to you, Ignacio. That's up to you if you want to call it that. But the MiGs seem to be flying really well. You always see videos of them. People loving them, and they will be back. Trust us. Colin, I did. I doubt you'd see that model in the 80 millimeter class, but you know, maybe not. You never know. I mean, the F-16, our F-16 is still fantastic, and it's still available, and parts are still available all the time. So, you know, it's a much loved model, and that's the beauty of Freewing in general. They're still around. You still get, you know, if you bought something 10 years ago, you can still be buying parts for it, and that's fantastic. Belon Lancer, Luis, never know. That's a good one too. We shall see. Scott, yeah, I do want to get out there 100%, but you know, just not yet. So hopefully next year for sure. But we'll be there in spirit. Can't really have a jet jam without Freewing being involved some way, shape, or form, whether we're there or not. You know, right? It's crazy, but it's awesome. Well, thank you, Afterburner. You know, again, different strokes for different folks. We're happy to see, you know, now there's literally an option for that type in every single size range, and it's a popular, you know, I mean, it's one of the most popular U.S. jets of all time. So, you know, why not? It was, I guess, a missing size, but now there's, man, now that jet is pretty much covered in all facets, from I think the 105 all the way down to, you know, I'm sure there are turbine guys out there like another F-16, and probably a bunch of composite versions of that model too. You know, everywhere. It makes sense, right? I mean, it's popular jet. How could you not? You know, everybody wants one in their arsenal, for sure. George, of course. You know, I would love to be there. I would love to. I mean, still not put. I mean, you know, I could show up as me. You know, maybe, but that would be on me just driving up. But we're not there yet. We'll see. Depends on what we're doing around that time as well. But that about does it. We hit about 1 o'clock. I'm seeing, you know, great comments. And as always, guys, thank you so much for every week for tuning in. And, you know, we're excited because one of these, you know, shows coming up is going to be a big one. You know, like you guys are all hoping for. But I love being able to tour the community with you guys every week. I love talking with our community, especially now our members. You know, you guys, thank you so much. You're the, you know, the diehards who are starting this ball rolling as far as, you know, memberships. And, you know, I can't wait to build this out. And, you know, it's been a long time now. We've been doing this show, about almost a year and 4 months. You know,
Absolutely crazy.
It's crazy that it's been going, and, you know, we haven't missed a beat. And I'm glad you guys who love it. If you just tune in every once in a while, that's fine too. Or if you just watch the replays, that's just as awesome as well. But, you know, I hope, if anything, this show just helps, like so many other shows out there in our RC community, just, you know, bond the community together. I mean, how many of you guys have never met each other, but you know each other probably more than other people because you're talking all the time, you know, in this chat room and other chat rooms, and, you know, taking that with you to your fields and stuff. Spread the word. We're happy to have, you know, all the viewers we can, and we thank you guys so much every week for tuning in. So get out this weekend, guys. Fly, drive, sail, do whatever you want to do, RC. Just stick a camera on it and share it. So maybe we'll see you next week on the show in lights. And go check out the merch store if you're interested in some of that awesome merch. And thank you as always for tuning in. We will see you next week. Later, guys.